Well, even if your ears will fail. Yes, according to U.S. researchers, breathing in secondhand smoke is linked to some degree of hearing loss in non-smokers. Doctors have long known that regular smokers are at higher risk of hearing loss, but until this study, it wasn't clear if that might be the case for so-called passive smokers, a.k.a. losers. For more, let's go to Red Eye's chief medical correspondent, Cat in a Tiny Hat. Should never have hired him. I blame myself. Andrew, biggest scam perhaps in modern history is secondhand smoke, right?
Ever. All it needs to be perfect horse manure is to say that secondhand smoke causes global warming.
Yeah.
In Shangri-La, you know?
No, I'm sure that's been done. I'm sure that's been done.
It is like, it's as if there were a special government department whose only job is to invent reasons to mess in your business.
Yeah.
I mean, they must sit around and think about it all day long.
I got to tell you, I was working in a health magazine, a prevention magazine, and everything was, you accepted this stuff as blind faith because it meant more research, it meant more writing, it meant more interviews with doctors, but none of this stuff. It was all correlation. This study, Joe, is correlation. Just so happens that if you're at a place where people are smoking, chances are music might be loud. So they're saying that secondhand smoke causes hearing loss. This is the science.
Well, I can see how smoking firsthand, do we call it firsthand smoking
yes.
now? Primary smoking would cause hearing loss because we've kicked the smokers outside and they have to smoke standing in traffic or in heavy construction areas. And if they come inside, their hearing is affected by non-smokers nagging out of them the whole time.
Yes.
So pretty much as holding a little fire next to your face, it's bad for all of your face holes. Can we have one study that just says, little fire next to anything here is not good, and then leave it at that?
Pibby, what do you make of this? You're a smart lady.
Well, I agree with what you were saying, that correlation is not the same as causation, and it's a very unscientific study. They say that this has been surmised because previous research has indicated smokers are at a greater risk of some degree of hearing loss. What?
Yeah.
How
So therefore, secondhand smoke must be the. That's where they're jumping. This is the biggest BS crap. Bill, did you hear anything during this segment?
A little bit. I'm an excellent lip reader. But that's just from the wax, which usually comes out once I take off my IFB. Sorry, Jack. I think that the problem here is that, getting back to what you were talking about with the concerts and the music, everyone seems to be suffering from a little bit of secondhand awesome. Yeah. And I get why they're upset about that, because why would you like secondhand fun when the person next to you, enjoying a Marlboro, is having firsthand fun?
Yeah.
This is why all of Americans have to take up smoking again, so that we can once again be a flavor country.
I got to tell you, I got two quick things to make. The conclusion of the study, further research is required. So this is all about grant money. It's all about making money. Number two, the smoking bans, which are based on secondhand smoke science, was wrong. But the people that went to restaurants and bars didn't care. They enjoyed smoking in bars. They caused bars and restaurants to close because they lost revenue from drinking because people would go stand outside. There were estimates of like 10% to 20% of people outside at any given time. That caused noise complaints, assaults on the street, and it caused these small business owners to lose money. This has to stop. It is the biggest joke.
They're actually going to do a study that says that women who smoke Virginia Slims have not come a long way, baby. And they'll have doctors behind them going, yes, they have not.
You know what? They're going to find out that the people in the Newport ads aren't enjoying Frisbee.
Exactly.
They aren't enjoying Frisbee as much as they used to.
That you are neither alive nor with pleasure, whatever brand that slogan was for.
Yeah, exactly. All right, coming up, what's it like to teach a hip-hop class to seniors? Joe DeVito doesn't just tell us, he shows us. There you go. But first, people smoking pot could only mean a story of people smoking pot. Or not, at this point, we are so high we don't care. Does getting a third eye make you the world's creepiest guy? A New York professor is having surgery to install a camera in the back of his head. You would too if you looked like that. Apparently, it'll take still pictures of intervals of stuff like students sitting in class, the kid behind him on the bus, or the ceiling while he weeps in his hands. Shut up, Greg. The project is being funded by a museum in Qatar, which would stream the images from the dude's head to museum visitors. However, the idea has raised concern about capturing private encounters without students' consent. Been there, my friend. Anyway, let's discuss this and other stuff in our lightning round, a.k.a.
Stories we sort of like, but not enough to include earlier in the show, but still wanted to talk about, so let's really quickly do them now.
That was nice. PAB, should students be upset over the so-called violation of their privacy?
You know, I could go either way on it. I mean, it seems
So
like...
I've heard. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
That's it. I'm done with my time.
All right, good. Andrew, have you ever heard of a better waste of money?
I was going to say, students should be upset that the guy has a camera in the back of his head. I mean, who wants a teacher with a camera in the back of his head?
I think it's genius because if it works, Joe, everybody's going to want one. Although it'll be kind of a distraction, don't you think?
A little bit. Well, I think he's going to be in for a rude awakening when he finds out it's not compatible with Windows Vista.
True point, true point. Bill, isn't the real story here that this guy is a wimp? That he wanted to put it in the front of his head, but realized that would totally kill any masturbation. Every time he looked down when he's urinating, it's like, so he said, put it in the back. That's why he put it in the back of his head.
I think the real story is how upset you are that he did not put it in the front of his head.
I'm outraged.
There might be some sort of streamlined capability, some private site.
I am outraged. I am outraged. He's also a very insecure man to put something in the back of his head. You got to be insecure, PAB.
Yeah, he seems like a pretty weird dude.
Or
actually.
super paranoid.
But the thing is, it's not just for classes. You know, the people on earlier were talking about it. It's just going to cause all kinds of concerns when he's just walking around.
Yeah, they call it art. Next topic. An offensive lineman for the San Francisco 49ers, a team, was benched for Sunday's game. The reason, Chilo Rochelle, who knows, missed 2 days of practice last week to be present for his son's birth. What's happened to our culture?
Really?
Yeah.
Really, it's a shame.
He should be out busting heads, not looking at babies.
Exactly, it's absurd. I saw my children born. It's messy, it's ugly, and at the end, you get this baby. I mean, it's a ridiculous
It
process.
is a big letdown, I must say. Joe, clearly he should be fired.
I think he made the right call because the 49ers are pretty bad this
That's
year. So,
true.
you know,
Yes, that's true.
go watch someone else's baby be born.
Yeah, that was probably the only completion he saw. Oh, that's not even makes sense because that doesn't even have a good metaphor. Bill, this didn't happen in sports years ago.
It did, and actually Andrew brings up a good point. I think the reason that the Mickey Mantles of the world had as many kids as they did is because they were never once at any of these.
Yeah.
They would, even if it wasn't a road game, they would not have gone to the hospital to see these kids. And now, as a result, you see these kids, you're like, I'm going to have maybe one more of those tops. That's awful. Yeah.
PAB, honestly, do wives want their stupid husbands there?
Well, I think that Bill's exactly right. I can't even talk. That when you see it, it makes the guys say we don't want any more, and I think that's a very good thing.
Yes.
I want to go to the last topic. We're running out of time. More great research from scientists at Mind-Blowing University. New study finds that regularly smoking marijuana may damage brain function, especially if the person starts before age 16. Joe, this study is flawed. If you probably started smoking at age 15, what does that say more about the life you were in, and that maybe that's why you're screwed up?
Well, first let me say, what do you mean if?
Yeah.
And yeah, they didn't do as well on cognitive tests, but you should see them on Super Mario.
Oh yeah, fantastic, fantastic. Drew, if you smoke a pot at 16, that is signs of other troubles, and this is just a waste. Again, a waste of money.
It's a waste of money. It's like doing a study to show that if you drive a nail into your eye, you might go blind.
Yes.
You know? It's ridiculous. And they probably did this study before and just forgot.
Actually, that's not the case with Bill. Bill can put nails in his eyes at any time he wants. It doesn't hurt him. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's going to do it after the show.
On camera.
PAB, will you finally quit smoking dope now that you've heard this?
I suppose this might be the turning point. I think it's pretty obvious. By the time somebody gets older, can't you just tell when somebody has smoked a lot of pot? You know.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true.
I will say this, though, Bill. They're good-natured.
Yes,
absolutely.
mellow,
You don't get into
nice
fights with these
people.
No, they're extremely nice. They'll give you their shirt off their back if you give them some pot. I found that out many
some
times on a
Cheetos.
Friday night. Ooh, you want some of this? Give me your shirt. Anyway, got to take a break. When we come back, I answer your email. That's it.
Mail time. Mail time. Mail time.
Yeah, it's mail time. Address redeye@foxnews.com. Right, I read, then that's all you're going to get. Here we go. James leads things off. With utmost sincerity, I'm troubled and saddened by the divisiveness and lack of constructiveness of your coverage. There's nothing but suffering to be gained, turning people against one another. We are all human and capable of love, toiling for the betterment of those we hold dear, regardless of station or creed. May God bless you and guide you in your work. Look, James, I'm sorry about what happened to you in Key West last Saturday, but you were the one who suggested we try the extra large. Time to move on. Steven emails us. Seems my email is going to junk mailbox for no reason. Can you please click wait, it's safe in the yellow box above? Then I can communicate with you better. Thanks, this will help me. Steven, I did exactly what you told me to do, but I never heard back. Anyway, I hope my social security number, home address, and Visa card information that I sent you was helpful. Art from Henderson, Nevada, probably not a real place. I love the new water glasses for your guests. Is there a Red Eye store where I can buy some? Art, great question. Next time you're in New York City, stop by the Red Eye store in Times Square. I think we have a photo here. There it is. It's our flagship store. There's over 20,000 square feet of Red Eye merchandise. When you get there, mention my name and you'll win a jar of Red Eye expectorant / hand lotion. Yeah. Finally, Kurt, his real name, emails us. I was looking through some old photos, reminiscing, and realized I never thanked you for all the hard work and overnights you put in helping our youth volleyball team. It was the mid-'90s. It seemed like everyone else had given up on us. We all grew up a lot that summer. And even though we never won the big game, it goes without saying we had the best-looking uniforms. Couldn't have done it without you. Kurt, it was my pleasure. I also learned a lot that summer and made many strong bonds that to this day remain great memories. But since it's been 15 years, I might as well tell you that I did lie about a few things. I never actually played or taught football, volleyball in my life. And it isn't really customary for the coach to shower with his players at his apartment. Close things out with the post-game wrap-up for TV's Andy Levy. To see clips of recent shows, go to foxnews.com/redeye. Back to TV's Andy Levy for the post-game wrap-up.
Thanks, Greg. Hey, Andrew, what's The Identity Man?
The Identity Man, my new novel, my new thriller novel about a guy who gets a chance to change his face, a crook who's on the run. He gets a chance to change his face, his name, and his records, and he tries to start his life again. Unfortunately, it turns out he's Bill Schultz.
Wow. He changed to become Bill Schultz?
I know, it's a tragic story.
Wow. I don't even want to know what he was before that. Oh, Lord. Hey, Joe, you going to be flying to any gigs this weekend?
No, I will not be flying. I'll be driving to catch a rising star in Providence, Rhode Island. But I still would be patting people down by request.
Excellent. Excellent.
Fantastic.
By request.
Yep. Hey, PAB, what was the first TV interview you ever landed?
Well, actually, it was back in the 80s. Fox had this American Bandstand knockoff called We're Dancing, and I had a friend who knew the producers, and I was dancing on the show like an idiot with a bunch of my friends. And then they said, does anybody have a question for Billy Idol, who was there performing? And we all had to write down our questions, and they picked mine, and I got to say to Billy Idol, what gave you the idea to put your album White Wedding on white vinyl? And he said, well, we wanted it to be on virgin vinyl. And that was my debut.
Excellent.
I would have asked
It's
him, are
really
you
not
holding?
the same without the video. It's really bad.
Right.
But
Is it? Does
maybe
it?
next time.
Do you have it?
I do actually, but not with me
Really?
at work. I do.
All right. Next time.
It's awesome.
All right. Back to you, Greg.
Thank you, Andy. Well done. Just kidding. All right, PAB, always a pleasure having you on the show. Bill Schultz, you're a bad person. Joe DeVito, a delight. Andrew Clavin, congrats on the new book. I'm going to read it tonight. If by tonight I mean next week. I'm Greg Gutfeld, and I shall see you next time.